Israeli warplanes resumed intensive airstrikes on eastern and southern Lebanon Wednesday evening, prompting international appeals for a ceasefire at the ongoing UN General Assembly session. At least 72 people were killed in Israeli attacks on Wednesday in Lebanon, and hundreds were wounded, according to a Reuters compilation of Lebanese health ministry statements. Israeli warplanes carried out about 70 raids on the areas of Baalbek, Hermel, and Western Bekaa, eastern Lebanon, sources told Shinwa, requesting anonymity. Meanwhile, Hezbollah said in a statement that it targeted the Branit barracks with heavy artillery shells and hit it directly, and also attacked the spy equipment at the Ramya site in northern Israel Wednesday evening, which led to its destruction. Israel's military chief said a ground assault was possible, raising fears the conflict could spark a wider Middle East war. At the UN General Assembly, Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikati called on the UN Security Council to put pressure on Israel for an immediate ceasefire on all fronts. Asked if a ceasefire can be reached soon, he told Reuters, "Hopefully, yes." Iranian Foreign Minister Said Abbas Araghchi told reporters before the council meeting that his country supported Hezbollah and would not remain indifferent if the conflict in Lebanon spiraled. Israel's UN envoy Danny Danon said on Wednesday that we are grateful for all those who are making a sincere effort with diplomacy to avoid escalation, to avoid a full war. But if talks failed, we will use all means at our disposal, in accordance with international law, to achieve our aims. The international community, including the US, the EU and several Arab nations, issued a joint call at the UN on Wednesday for a 21-day temporary ceasefire in Lebanon, voicing concern the conflict running in parallel to Israel's conflict in Gaza against Hamas was escalating rapidly as the death toll rose in Lebanon and thousands fled their homes. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, said that on the third consecutive day of the large-scale military escalation, the Bekaa and southern governorate's water supply was severely damaged, leaving 30,000 people without access to clean water, fresh on the heels of severe damage to 16 water stations previously. The strikes also have driven tens of thousands of people from their homes in southern Lebanon, OCHA said. Since Monday, the International Organization for Migration reports more than 90,000 people being newly displaced, including 40,000 people in more than 200 collective shelters. Our partners are calling for more sites for displaced people, OCHA said. Nearly 300 schools across the country are being repurposed to shelter people who have fled their homes. Up to 100,000 students could be affected as a result. The UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, said it is preparing for the growing number of displaced Lebanese and Syrians fleeing Lebanon for Syria in desperation as Israeli airstrikes continue. Hundreds of vehicles are backed up in queues at the Syrian border. Many people are also arriving on foot, carrying what they can, UNHCR reported. Large crowds, including women, young children, and babies, are waiting in line after spending the night outdoors in falling temperatures. Some bear fresh injuries from the recent bombardments.